Ooh, new book?
That's for you, brother. Merry Christmas.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I was at Barnes and Nobles the other day, and we were just talking. It was like the day after we were talking about books. So, yeah.
Oh, man.
If anything, it's just cool to look at, you know?
No, this is beautiful. This is fucking beautiful, bro.
I've been just chilling. I was just playing guitar, watching Goodfellas, talking with the chat a little bit.
Nice, nice. What up, chat? Oh, shit. It's lit.
It's Dylan. Me and Dylan been talking.
What up, Dylan? Hell yeah. It's fucking lit, dude. This is beautiful. Thank you. It kind of reminds me, like, can you believe I recorded this in our parking lot? And he was like, what? Bro, his mind, like, I could see his eyes, like, pop out of his head. He was just like, he was like, what the fuck? And I showed him the shit. And I was like, yeah, like, that whole verse I recorded in our parking lot on the Saturday because we didn't have shit going on. And he was just like, that's fucking crazy.
I wonder how many, like, big songs were made just, like...
Off the cuff?
Like that, or, like, just recorded with, like, not professional equipment, really, and just, like, in a car in a parking lot type shit, you know?
You know what song surprised me, but when I listened back to it, I understand. There's a song by Future called Mask Off.
Yeah.
That's a 2-track.
What do you mean?
So he just recorded vocals on top of the beat that was mastered.
Oh, no shit. Oh, it's just 2 tracks.
It's just 2 tracks.
Oh.
It's not
Oh,
a
shit.
full ensemble with his vocals
all the
mixed
stems
with it. Yeah, there's no stems in that. It's literally just, he was just lit that night. He heard that shit. It went off, and then boom,
oh,
it pressed
shit.
it. But yeah, it's not a fully mastered track. And that song hit billions
Big
of people.
time, big play. I was watching this, one of my favorite YouTube channels is Rick Beato's channel. All the guitar players, y'all already know about his channel, but he had Nuno Betancourt on there, who's like a super shred guitar player, right? And he was talking about how some of his biggest songs were recorded just like had a guitar on his
on his lap?
On his lap,
yeah.
And a mic taped to his knee right here, and he just recorded it like that.
Straight into the mic?
Straight into the mic like that. And that's like some of the biggest songs he's made are just recorded like that.
I think there's a certain essence to that level of recording.
Yeah.
Because it's pure, it's genuine. You know you want to get your shit off. And in my opinion, like, that's some of the best music is ever made like that. And
yeah,
I had to really tell myself, like, yo, why are you being such a perfectionist?
Yep.
And you got some dope shit, but you're being a perfectionist on the littlest things, and that the consumer probably doesn't even think about or care. And I had to talk to my boy Teddy about it. Shout out to Teddy Grams. He wants to get on the pod at some point.
Anytime.
Dope artist.
I'm actually, shout out real quick, everybody. I'm going to start booking for next year, so y'all come through. Let me know.
Definitely pull up.
Yeah.
And I was just like, bro, I've made such a big deal about certain things that people don't care about. And in reality, it's not about how good the song is mixed. It's about how it made a person feel.
Exactly. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain people like XXXTentacion recorded his first album on his Mac.
And it sounds rough.
And it sounds terrible.
Yeah, but that's what everyone likes about it.
Yes, like it invigorates the crowd.
It puts you in that headspace of like he's in his room and just into the MacBook in a dark room just talking.
Right. And I love that, bro, because it makes the nuances of going to the studio and doing all this, paying an engineer fucking thousands of dollars, and then making sure everything sounds good and mixed. So it's more money, and it takes away that genuine like love for it. Like,
dude, I feel like sometimes the studio will like dampen an artist because you get in there, it feels. I heard someone say it feels clinical. It feels like it's like an appointment, and like I feel like I can write better music in this room, in my own environment, than I can go into like Legacy or something.
Right.
Because it's just so, I don't know. It doesn't feel like a room to me or a house or like a real environment.
It's not a comfort zone.
It's a manufactured environment. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, think about it, bro. Like Dustin, perfect example.
Yeah, he records everything in his house, and it sounds amazing.
And I was gonna go to his house to record some shit with him, and he was like, "Bro, I'll come to you, cause you record." I showed him like the whole one of the projects.
He does it how you do it.
And he was like, "Yo, I like this." And he gave me a breakdown of every song. And he was like, "Yo, I'll come to you because you recorded it in your zone.
Yeah.
So I want to meet you where you are."
I love that.
And I was like, "Bro, I respect you for
Yeah.
that." Shout out to Dustin,
I love
man.
that.
Barbed Wire Fire. You hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of music, man. So we were talking earlier, and you were saying you're about 75% done with the album.
I think so, and I want to take it to Dustin, and I want to have him listen to it. I got like 8 or 9 songs.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Dude, I've been busy. I've just been locked in here, fucking tweaking shit, playing with shit, and
Okay.
been down the rabbit hole. Like the past 3 months have just been deep dive into this like solo thing. But yeah.
How does it feel, like in terms of just producing music for
Dude,
yourself?
being on the back end of it, like from like when we talked about it a few months ago,
Yeah.
it's really satisfying, and like I feel like I should have been doing this a long fucking time ago, you know. But I don't know. And another feeling I get is that this is never gonna end.
Yeah.
Like I keep like going like, okay, I got these 8 or 9 songs, but then I still have all these other things. Like
Yeah.
there's so much more.
Yeah.
I'm trying to focus just on these 8 or 9, just to get the album out and get a body of work out, you know. But like I'm still chasing after all this shit over here too. So there's just this feeling of like this is never gonna end. Like I'm just on, once this project's done, on to the next.
To the next
On
one.
to the next one.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
You never want to not have nothing to look forward to
Yeah.
as a creator.
But then the other thing oh god, I keep getting this thing of like, fuck, I gotta make artwork.
Oh
Fuck, I gotta
God.
think of an album name. Fuck, I gotta think of track names. Do you know how hard that is? Do you know how hard that is for me? Track names are so fucking hard for me.
Bro.
That's why they get named just like September. Like whatever the fucking day
Have
is.
you ever sat with a producer at their laptop and looked at their song titles or producer titles? Trust me, you're not alone.
Okay, okay.
I've met platinum PD Beats.
Yeah, PD.
Platinum selling artists, producers. They'll have Sunset Beat, 123 BPM.
Yeah, yeah.
And some other shit. Like it's never like a full concept in terms of the name of the
Right.
song.
I keep telling
that
myself.
comes later.
That's why I keep telling myself, I guess it's gonna come later. Like once I get like, that's another reason I want to bring it to Dustin too, because like I feel like he'll give me that extra perspective I'm not seeing on it, and I can come up with a different name.
Yeah, no, dude. Album artwork for me, just to give you like a little bit of reassurance. Album art and song titles are the hardest for me.
Yeah, right.
They're the hardest.
Writing the music and getting it, that's the easy part.
Yeah.
I feel like. And now I gotta like earlier you were saying, you have to promote the album. You gotta tour the thing. You gotta put it out there, talk to the people. It's all that back end shit. I'm just like, fuck.
You got to get an EPK. You got to
Yeah.
put together that. And
Forgot about that. Fuck.
well, here's the thing I will tell you just to give you some help. When it comes to your album, you can't create a synopsis or like a whole view of it until it's done, right?
Yeah.
Once it's done, especially if it's like a theme around it or if it's just a compilation. If it's a compilation, that's easier.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, all right, this is a collection of sounds I made from this point to
That's
this
kind of what it is. Yeah. There's not really a.
and that's cool. It's not a consistent theme, but at the end of the day, it's a compilation.
Right.
That saves you effort and time in terms of putting together this idea versus something that's like, okay, this concept, you have to listen to song 1 to song 8 in totality. You cannot skip because it's all one story.
Like a Man on the Moon type. Yeah.
Precisely. So I would say, bro, like, people don't care about a story until it grows legs and it's like out there and it's, you know what I'm saying? So don't knock yourself over the head about how I'm gonna theme this, how I'm gonna put
That's
this,
what it
that,
is,
and the
yeah.
third together, like the story behind it or all this other extra shit. No. If anything, let your music speak for itself. Let the art speak for itself, and then come together and just formulate, you know, a little. Be genuine, like genuinely be yourself, and say, "Yo, I recorded this. This is my first album. Boom, 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 boom. Do it how you do
Yeah,
it."
and that's the thing too, is like with it being my first release, I'm like, I just want to come out like looking good, you know, like,
of course,
you know, you want it to be the
polished.
You want every body of work to be your best body of work, you know, but like, it's my first one, so I'm like, I don't even know how to fucking do this really, but.
Was episode 1 of your first podcast your best body of work?
Nah.
But it was a start, right?
Yeah, it's a start.
That's all that matters. Like, remember that question I asked you before? Like, yo, what's your magnum opus album that you would like want to get? Not necessarily land at, but just be like, I want to make something on that level, right? That's all you gotta ask yourself. You know what I'm saying? Everything else is gonna speak for it. Like, bro, you shred. You're a fucking great guitar player, bro.
You know what? Like, not to like be all egotistical and shit, but like the past like 6 months, I've been like, God damn, I pretty am fucking good at this. Like, I can write these songs pretty fucking quick. Like, I don't know. I've just kind of realized what talent I do have.
Yeah.
Starting to appreciate it a lot more too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what like I've gotten out of this, making this little album here. Is I've just really appreciated how fast I can do it, and like, but I never really realized it until I tried to make something.
Yeah,
so that's a cool part about it.
It's a beautiful realization, man. I think us as creatives, we kind of like don't pat ourselves on the back.
That's what it is
at all.
We're our worst critic.
Yeah, we just do shit.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't mean to sound egotistical, but it's like I'll sit there and like I'll just play my guitar for like minimum an hour a day when I come home and just pick it up and just noodle around, and I don't even remember what the fuck I played, but I know some of it was cool as fuck, and like I don't know. I don't remember where I was going with that, but fuck.
No, it's all good.
Short-term memory like a motherfucker, dude.
I mean, bro, I feel you on that. I'm definitely bouncing around here too. But at the end of the day, I'm excited to hear it. I'm excited to see what comes of it. And then what I would say is hold on to that feeling of I'm looking forward to the next thing. Because this is your first episode. Just look at it like that. It's your first episode. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's the first season.
And they're only getting better. Each demo I do is better than the last one. I'm learning how to record better. I'm learning how to mix better. Like each one is just getting better and better.
It's addictive too.
Yeah.
Like once you get into it and then you start like, okay, I'm gonna do this layer over it.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna re-record this part, and then I'm gonna push this part together. And now you're gonna have like an opening, then a bridge.
I started recording
other stuff.
A fucking country song the other day.
Really?
Because I was just like, fuck it, let's see if I can do this.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah. That's why the acoustics up here, because I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna try this out.
What's one artist that like got a re-release? It could be old, it could be new, but like got a re-release that you were like, oh my God, I can't believe they re-released this song 10, 20 years later. Like, and it's, remastered, remixed and all that.
Man, I don't know, because, they do that to so many albums. It probably like I couldn't name one off the top of my head, but like any of like the classic rock stuff, they'll remaster that shit and put it back out, and then you'll see it come up and it'll be like the 2006 master. And like, does it really sound all that different from the original takes? And like, I get it. You want the Dolby surround sound, fucking Atmos sound. I get it. It does sound cool as shit. But I think there's something to be said for using that vintage equipment
1,000%
in that vintage environment with those vintage instruments and microphones. I don't know. I think there's that holds some kind of weight. I think
1,000%.
Yeah.
I genuinely. So to answer that question, for me, it was Billy Idol Rebel Yell.
Okay.
I love that album heavy, and that song. I was listening to it in high school, bro, and I would just drive to it and go crazy. And I knew all the words, and I remember playing it on. I want to say it was Rock Band. That
in
game.
The midnight hour, shit, more, yeah.
Dog, like I would do karaoke with that song. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I love Billy Idol, Rebel Yell, White Wedding, Eyes Without a Face.
Did you ever see when he was on Viva La Bam and Bam picked him up at the airport in his Lambo, and they were driving back to Bam's house, and Billy Idol looked at him. He's like, "Oh, this thing's cool and all, but you need a moonroof. And so they pull over to the side, and they get a fucking Sawzall out.
And they cut it out. Yeah.
They cut a hole out like this big.
Yeah.
Lambo.
I do remember that episode. Yeah. But the fucked up part was, it was a rented Lambo.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. They went to the dealership and got that Lamborghini.
Yeah.
And then they did all this shit to it, and then they brought it back at the end of the episode. And they were like, dog, what the fuck? But I do remember that, because there was no Lamborghinis with the sunroof.
No. Like, they don't make
that's
one
a thing.
That.
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that. Damn.
No, that guy's a rock star.
Lock the memory. Yeah, no. Billy Idol, Rebel Yell, bro. Like, they just released like a 25th anniversary for that album. And I was listening to it at work, because I like to listen to certain things at certain times that get me pumped up, especially when I'm driving. Yeah. And that shit never fails, bro.
All right. Never. This just in, aliens. What the fuck's going on with all these drones, dude?
Aliens. Shout outs to any aliens watching this, because I'm sure we're using some of you guys' technology right now.
Is it aliens? Is it our government? Is it psyops? Is it?
What do you think?
Blue beam?
What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Gut reaction. It's a government military
test.
Some kind of something. Yeah. And the reason that they're not saying anything is because if they do, they're admitting that they have these things. Mm-hmm. And you can't do that because it's a matter of security.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, the Navy, the Coast Guard, all those people were alerted about these things and like went out and looked at it and then reported back and was saying like, yo, there's no heat signatures. Yeah. They're just, they have propellant systems, and there was over 50 of them spotted just within the East Coast. But in my opinion, I'm like, who's to say they haven't been here this whole fucking time?
Oh, yeah.
And if anything, maybe, who knows, like the government might have been onto something, and they were like, yo, we could pull up at any point in time. Let me just remind y'all.
Yeah. Did you hear
the treaty that we have?
Right. Did you hear the theory that they're looking for like suitcase nukes?
Mm-mm.
There's like 100 suitcase nukes that went missing or some shit.
Suitcase nukes?
Yeah, you can fit a nuke inside a suitcase.
Oh, right, because it's a small...
Yeah, and so they have those.
Yeah.
And
wait a minute. So they just randomly nukes just randomly floating around?
Hold on. So okay. they think that submarines are coming up and placing them on our shores, and then going back, placing them, going back, just putting them on our shores, and then just real stealthy missions, right? And so that's what those drones are going in and looking for, is those things, and that's why they're all on the coastline. And then I also here we go, there's a million of these. I also heard that it's just a fucking PR for a new movie coming out, which I could totally see that.
I could see it.
Could totally see that.
Michael Bay might have his hand in that. Man.
But honestly, like, I don't think we'll ever. No.
You don't think so?
Maybe when we're like.
I mean, bro, look at how fast information travels now.
Yeah.
And we're, in the grand scheme of things, we're young, right? Like, most people didn't get confirmation of aliens until they were in their 40s, 50s, 60s. And then by that time, they're worn out from life and work, and they don't care. Like, but us, our generation, we're exposed to so much to the point where it's like, I think we're desensitized
100%.
to everything.
100%.
And until like, laser beams start shooting out, and motherfuckers is like, oh yeah, like nobody's gonna care.
No, you're right.
So, in my opinion, sometimes I think, like I said, certain things happen as like a show of power or a show of like, yo, we're still here. Yeah. And most of the ocean is undiscovered. A lot of people say that, not a lot of people, certain experts say that there were two alien races at one point in time competing for Earth because it was a habitable planet, and one race went to the stars and one race went underwater. And so I do believe, especially if you look at like octopus and certain freaking sea creatures, they're nowhere near what we could manufacture. We learned tilapia 10 years ago. When I found out tilapia was man-made, it fucked my head up.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I'm saying? But I just genuinely think that like we're definitely not the only ones that inhabit this earth. We weren't the first ones that inhabit this earth, and the technology that built the pyramids that did certain things were way further advanced than our mammalian.
No
brain.
doubt, no doubt.
You
What
know?
do you? This has to do with what you're saying.
Mhm.
What are you scared of? Like, what scares you? What do you have a fear of?
How humans react.
No, I mean like in general in life. Like, what do you have a fear of?
Oh, just in general.
I have a fear of like deep water.
What do I have a fear of?
I don't like water like that. That's why I told you like I'm not going on a cruise because I don't like deep water. Like you ever seen those videos of like people like just like kicking their feet out in the ocean? They like put the camera down and it's just dark. Like, it gives me like the like I hate that feeling.
I had that moment when I was like 11 and I was swimming in Antigua and my brother was out on the surfboard and I swam to him on the surfboard, but I didn't realize how far out he was. And then all of a sudden I looked down and it was just darkness.
You realize how deep and dark and there's an abyss under you.
Yeah, it was scary as shit.
I did that in Florida when I went out. Me and my friends, same story, same kind of thing. We were just walking out. Didn't realize how far out we got, and then there was just a drop off, like a big 40-foot drop off, and all you float obviously, but we were just like, whoa, shit,
Yeah.
And you get that feeling of like, oh my god, this is like walking off a cliff right here.
Yeah.
I hate that feeling.
Honestly, dude, as I've gotten older, I'm scared of more things than I was when I was younger.
Yeah, because your mortality is more in your face.
Yeah, but like, I'm not scared of a lot though. Like in the grand scheme of things, I've been through some fucking crazy shit.
But you don't have like an irrational fear of like spiders or like snakes or like heights, shit like that.
No, I love heights. I love
too.
roller coasters. I love all that stuff. Insects, I was kind of a weird kid. Like I would get like roly-polies and like fuck with them and shit.
Everybody did that, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but some people were fucking vastly scared of bugs.
True.
I would say, I don't know, irrational fear. I know I have it. I just I can't call it right now.
Yeah.
Like, I never liked clowns.
Okay.
Like, they were always kind of weird to me. I wouldn't be like freaking out if I saw a clown, but outside of that,
I'm talking like phobias.
quiet.
Okay, that's a real one.
Quiet. Like if it's dead silent for a long period of time, my brain doesn't like it. It's like, all right, I need some type of sound, some type of music, some type of whatever.
I get that.
And my life is so noisy because I work in a warehouse 12 hours a day.
Yeah, so you're used to it.
And then I drive a couple hours a day and then I'm listening to music all the time. So when it's like dead quiet for a long time, that's like a phobia, I guess. For me. Like, I can't do it. Like, if you were to give me torture, it would be to sit me in a room and I can't have any type of sound going on.
Man, I just there's some trauma in there, buddy.
Did I just unlock something for you?
I just realized because I know your past and like there's a reason you do that. You as a kid, probably that's what you did to escape your reality, right? You just headphones in.
Yeah.
Sound. You need sound all the time because everything else is ignoring you.
Right. Ooh.
Right.
Damn. That's deep.
Yeah. I saw a reel of that and it hit me too. And I was like, oh, that's why I listen to music all the time.
Just like that.
It's deep, right?
Yeah, that's just like.
Yeah. That's why you feel so weird in the silence.
Yeah, because I was only a child for 12 years. So all I had was music, video games, and it's all good. Music, video games, and my sketchbook. That was it. You know? But when it came to like... it's okay. It's fucking that. When it came to silence, it was very rare.
Yeah.
You know? But when it happened, it was like I always needed something to like get me out of that or, you know, distract me.
Yeah. No, that was.
I never thought about it like that though. That's real.
It hit me too, and I was like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense."
Outside of bodies of water, are there any other like irrational fears that you potentially have?
Hadn't came across it yet.
Okay.
You know,
Water's the biggest.
Water's the one where I'm just like, I'll get weird.
You know how to swim?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, okay.
He's in the Navy.
Oh, you're using the Navy. Right.
And that's the other thing. Is like, why are you doing the Navy if you have fucking fear of water, you know? But I don't know, man. Yeah, I'll get weird. Like, I don't on a boat. I fucking just get all pale and shit and seasick and just like, I don't know, just anxiety. Fucking.
You get into your own head.
You start thinking about like, what if this boat fucking goes under? Like, well, fuck, I gotta fucking grab everybody. Like, oh fuck, I gotta swim. Like, fuck, I gotta save everybody. It's the fucking life or death thing. Like, I don't like that. My head just starts fucking. Especially if I'm with my kids and we're on the boat. I'm like, fuck.
You just made me think about something, and I wanted to ask you if you're like this.
Mm-hmm.
Are you worst case scenario, best case scenario? I'm preparing for both type of person. Like, say for instance, right, the house caught on fire. Okay, if the house caught on fire, I know I'm gonna get this, that, and the third. Get out this way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Me, that's some only child brain shit. Like, if something were to happen, how would I get out of this, or how would I go about handling this situation?
That's hyper independency.
Mm.
It's also a trauma response.
Yo, Nick is my therapist.
Because as a child, you didn't feel like the people were going to provide for you if you had to fend for yourself.
Right.
So as an adult, you become hyper independent and you don't need anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. I don't need anyone. You don't need anyone.
Mm-hmm.
We can fucking thug it out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, it's just a trauma response.
Mm.
I've been going into like a lot of fucking trying to figure out myself a little bit, like what the fuck is up in my head, you know, and going through different like reels and shit on like just trauma and therapy.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you ever like wanted to go see a therapist?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I really want to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
but the thing is like I want to go to like Soprano style. Like, I want to go in a room with someone and talk, and, like, I don't need to be on the bed and all that shit.
I don't want to do it over the fucking laptop.
Fuck no.
Yeah,
That's so impersonal.
Yeah.
No way, dude. And also, like, if I go do it, it's going to be, like, a long-term thing. It's going to be, like, this is what I do every Tuesday type shit, you know? Mm-hmm. I don't want to go just for, like, 2 or 3 sessions. You kind of get to know me. No, we're going to fucking, like, we're going to know each other.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the only way to really do that, I think. Like, on Shrinking.
Oh, that's a good show.
I love that show, you know, and like how he handles his patients. He's so personal with them. You know, he goes a little too deep, too personal with them.
Yeah, way too personal. But that's also the human.
Yeah.
Within him.
Yeah, and that's what I want. Is I want that to go sit down with somebody in front of someone and talk and really kind of lay it all out there and go. And you know what all I'm looking for is an understanding of why I do certain things. Why do I think this way? And like I'm not looking for solutions. I just want an understanding. Because I can once I get the understanding, I can figure it all out after that. Mm-hmm. It's just I need a little help dissecting
why this is that way, or why I react to these things that way, and then have like you said, a trauma response for certain things that's we naturally.
And you don't even realize it. You're just doing it because it's natural to you because that's how you grew up.
Or just how you react to certain things. Yeah. Like, it's funny, whenever you go to like a hospital or like a waiting room and you see so many people that are just attached to their phone because they don't want to make eye contact with the person across from them, or they don't want to have like an awkward conversation.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Like, I think our phones, we use it as trauma responses more than people understand. Like, there's certain, like, even me, like, I'll go to the chiropractor, right? Like, I've had to go to chiropractor ever since my car accident 2 times a week. Every time I go there, there might be 1 or 2 people in there. Nobody says anything to each other. We just sit and we wait, right? But in that time period, there's a TV playing, some Christmas movie, and then some music going on, and then everybody's just like this because nobody wants to look up and be like, what's up? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I genuinely think that like we use our phones as a trauma response.
I've genuinely seen people. I'll like be walking close or walking by or walking to or in the same room in the vicinity of someone, and they will literally. I'll see it. I know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You're pulling your phone out because you don't want to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And they do this number where they're just like. Acting like they're fucking doing something, and to me it's insulting. Because I'm just like, look, what's understood don't need to be said.
Yeah.
You ain't got to do all that performance shit for me.
Right.
Because, brother, I am the most easygoing person. I don't want to talk to you either, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Right.
I don't want to talk to you either.
Right.
So you ain't got to do all that. What's understood don't need to be said.
Right. I'm a firm believer in that. But at the same time, I notice it so much at work that I'm just like,
Yeah.
And even I do it.
Yeah, everyone does it though, right?
You know,
like we all do it.
It's
I'm not
a
talking
reflex.
shit.
It's a reflex.
Yeah, it's a reflex.
But it's just funny to watch it through like the guise of like,
Yeah.
oh, you don't have shit on your phone right now. Like you're just using this as like a shield.
Yeah, it's a shield. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. They put that phone shield up like
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. Nah, but damn, we went from aliens to Nah, but it's good to be back, man. Episode whatever this is. Thank you guys for tuning in to What's Up With That.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys.
We
Everybody on Twitch, what's up?
Word.
What's
Shout
up?
out to the Twitchers out there. Dude, this has been an interesting couple weeks. Like, there's been a lot going on in the industry. There's been a lot going on in music. There's been a lot going on with the whole Jay-Z thing that came and went.
Oh, his court shit?
Yeah, well, it was basically some source came out and said that Jay-Z was in the Diddy parties, and then some sexual acts had happened to an underage person, but it just came out that actually was all false.
It's all false.
Yeah, it was all false. It wasn't
People trying to get
none of the stories lined up. There was no real factual information brought together, and basically, like within the past 24 hours, it was reported that it was all bogus.
So they can sue for defamation. Yeah.
And there's a whole nother defamation thing going on now with Drake and Kendrick. So
that's right. He went to his
so
he tried to say they boost sales or some shit.
So basically, Drake is saying that UMG utilized the bots to push Not Like Us further than ever before, because it was a monumental moment, and it was also a way to decrease his likability or his what's the word I want to look for? Not just likability, but like, all right, say for instance, Drake is like $100 million man.
Oh, his credibility?
$400 million man, right? But when you put something like that on somebody's jacket, then they go down to like 100 million, maybe 50 million, maybe 25 million, because their likability or their character is hit so hard that like all their sales and everything goes down.
Yeah.
So he was basically saying that you guys use bots to promote me falling, but it was also right before his contract renewal. So with UMG, he signed a $400 million deal like a couple of years ago, and his contract was up for renewal within this next year, so he could ask for more money. That's also why he hasn't stopped touring and hasn't stopped putting his face out there, because he has a contractual agreement. So now when he wants to ask for more money, everybody's like, nah, bro, you're not as hot as you once were. So we're not going to give you this.
But in defense, maybe Drake's time is up. Maybe he ain't as hot as he was.
What's the last full album you heard from Drake, bro?
Dude, I can't.
And this is not a Drake hate pod, because a lot of YouTubers,
I like Drake.
A lot of YouTubers are using the clickbait stuff.
Oh yeah, we ain't doing that. No,
we're not doing that. We're having a genuine conversation.
No, I genuinely like Drake.
But what's the last album you heard from him where you were like, I fuck with this?
That Scorpion one. What was that?
Scorpion.
It's just Scorpion, right?
Yeah, it was just Scorpion,
probably Scorpion.
The double album.
Yeah, that was what, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe.
Somewhere.
Yeah, that's probably the last one I listened to all the way through.
Mm-hmm. That was a long ass album.
Yeah.
For me, it was If You're Reading This Is Too Late,
which is a great album.
To this day.
Yeah.
It still has hits on it.
And that's even further back.
Yeah, it's way further back. It's like 2013, 2014, maybe 2015. But
and we all know that he's arena artist, one of the biggest artists, surpassed MJ at this point. But maybe his time has come.
Yo, I got into it with somebody about that take.
About him passing MJ?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes. Somebody online, which
you told me about this.
The name will not be. Your name will not be put out there.
Yeah, this was ridiculous.
But he was going in. He was like, "What kind of blasphemy is this that Drake has surpassed Michael Jackson?" And I was like, "Bro, it's an opinion. It's not fact. It's not law. It's an opinion." But when you look at the numbers, when you look at the amount of albums, when you look at the amount of reach, like MJ had reach. He changed the fucking world globally, music-wise. But his run wasn't, it was cut short to a certain degree. And he kind of like, in my opinion, like if you actually look at Michael Jackson albums, he had certain albums that like blew the masses away. But at the same time, there were certain albums that were like duds. Nobody gave a fuck about them. Nobody goes back. Nobody talks about it. And think about the amount of shit that he probably had in the tuck. People that he worked with. Shit that you can't never hear because it's
that just reminded me.
It's licensed, you know?
Yeah. MJ's great and all, but what about Mac's new album? Mac Miller?
His new album.
Dog. Balloonerism. It's coming out in like 3 weeks.
What?
Yeah.
Have they been promoting this?
At Camp Flagnaw or Flognaw, whatever the fuck you call it. It happened a few months ago. They announced it. They said his posthumous album that he already made album artwork for before he died. Already had a whole concept for it. Already like basically made the whole fucking thing, and they just been sitting with it in the tuck waiting. And so
this is news.
Yeah, so they're gonna drop it in a few weeks. I'm stoked on it.
This is news to me.
It's called Balloonerism.
It's crazy how you went from Mac Miller to, you went from.
I know it reminded me because it was like it's the whole posthumous thing, you know.
How do you feel about posthumous albums, bro? Honestly,
it's cool if you do it right. If you do it right, if you go in there and you, because my take is like, don't just let that shit sit on a shelf somewhere.
Right.
Get it out. Because someone's going to find something. You're going to find a sample out of something, you know. Someone's going to find something in it and get something out of it. So don't just let it sit. And that's kind of how I feel about it.
So say, for instance, God forbid, something happened to you. And
dude, this is so weird. I had this conversation in my head the other day, and I said, I need to ask Nimbus if he ever dies. Like, what's his plan with his music?
Yeah.
On some morbid shit, y'all, I really had this like thought the other day in my head, and it's so weird you're asking me this right now. That's so like, wow.
I feel like I'm having deja vu.
Yeah, this is a real like deja vu moment right here. But honestly, what's your thoughts on that? I know you just asked me, but you've got a way bigger catalog than I do.
I'm all right. So to be transparent, there's only like a couple people I would trust with all of the shit I have that I haven't released. You're one of them. One, and then maybe only other person would be like my mom or something. But personally, I don't like posthumous albums because I feel like the artist wouldn't sign off on everything. Yeah. And then I look at it from like the major label standpoint, like how much they ran XXXTentacion shit through the ground, how much Juice WRLD, they just dropped the Juice WRLD album.
I think they could have done his way better too.
And just the rollout was terrible. Yeah. The fucking artwork was terrible.
I totally agree.
I don't think he, as a creative that he would have signed off on some of the ways that they did that. But at the same time, I get it from their standpoint of like, yo, we have all this money, we have all this music, we have all this money. So let's make it back because they're technically still obligated to recoup, right?
Yeah.
But from a personal standpoint, since I do all my distribution, I do all my everything, I would want my stuff to go out, even if it was the demos. Like sometimes I think about it like, you know what? If I'm never going to finish this song, let me just release it as the demo and just put demo in the title.
And that's totally acceptable.
And I think that would be cool. The only way I would really God forbid if something happened to me, sign off on it as if like the person I trusted with the information would be like, yo, anything that I recoup from this, just give it to my family.
It goes back to the estate.
Yeah, just
100%.
give it to my family. Like,
Yeah. That's how it should be.
Yeah, like get a cut just from putting it out there and doing all the due diligence and titling everything. And but at the same time, I would only want that to come out if it went to my family.
That's how the Jimi Hendrix estate is. His stuff is so protected. You have to go directly to his family to get any kind of Jimi Hendrix licensing. Anytime you see a Jimi Hendrix anything, they paid out the ass to get that because they had to go directly to Miss Hendrix and talk to her. And that's how it should be, honestly.
Yeah.
It should be that personal.
Yeah. That's the only way I could sign off on it.
Yeah.
But I thought about it at work today. I was like, damn, like God forbid if I got in a car accident, I'm so glad Nick has like the stems to certain songs and like the files to certain songs where you could download it. Cause I give you permission on this pod. I give you permission to release that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I look at it as like, it's a beautiful commemoration to like who a person was, what they were doing.
Absolutely.
And I don't want that to just be sitting on a hard drive in Nevada.
Right.
Collecting dust, digital dust. Like, I want that to come out, but I want it to come out the right way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I totally get it.
That's my thing.
And that's what I think's so cool about this Mac Miller one is because he had already planned it all.
So it's called Balloonerism? That's what they're naming it?
That's what he named it. He's already got album artwork that he made. Wow. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why this one I'm really excited about because he made it. It was recorded in 2013. Right after
Mac was hot.
Right after I think Self Care, he recorded it. So it's that whole same. I might be getting this wrong. Y'all correct me, but it's that same whole time of when he was in that heat, of just making badass music, and he just set this album to the side, and never got a chance to release it.
He's one artist that I think has such incredible side quest.
Yeah, right.
Like he was Larry Fisherman. Mac Miller, and then there was like one other. Oh, Larry Lovenstein. Which he has one EP, which if you never heard of it, it's called "You" by Larry Lovenstein, and it's a Mac Miller EP. And he was just like, it's terribly mixed, but it sounds so raw. Yeah. Like, it's back to our conversation of like everything just has to be polished and studio fucking friendly for Adobe Atmos sound. You know what I mean? If it's genuinely coming from the heart, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah.
And he was one of those artists that you really felt his heart when you hear his stuff, especially later on, like Circles.
Yeah,
Circles is so good, bro.
You think that was the drugs that got him into that, like that type of music? Because think about when he first came out, he was just smoking weed and like Nike's on my feet, blah, blah, blah. And then he got into fucking the Memento Mori shit, all the like, you know what I'm saying?
Faces and all that.
Yeah, Faces. That's such a good album. I just listened to that album for the first time this week.
What?
Yeah, I'm late.
You just listened to Faces?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude.
Because I got this whole hype of Balloonerism. I was like, I'm about to go check this out. And because, I'm late.
I almost got the vinyl for that.
It's so good, dude. It's so good. There's a couple tracks on there. I'm like, ooh, I want to cover this or like sample this. Like
Faces is Faces is a beautiful album and it's also very dark.
It's super dark. Super dark, dude. There's some of that shit where he's just like talking about just drugs.
Drugs. That's it. Ending it all, everything.
Yeah.
But I think the beauty, to answer your question, I don't think it was the drugs. I think it was maturity.
Okay.
You know?
Just coming into his artist self.
Coming, because he technically blew up when he was still a kid.
Yeah.
And so now you're getting all this critically acclaimed fame, but it's still kind of underground, but then it's still kind of up there. Like, I don't think he ever actually had like a hit that hit the mainstream.
I can't. Oh, we might be blanking, but I can't think of one that was like mainstream.
Mainstream? Mac Miller never, in my opinion, he never reached that pinnacle.
No.
It was kind of always scratching
Wiz,
at the
right?
surface. Wiz, but like...
Because they were both on Rostrum at that time.
Exactly.
And Wiz popped.
Yeah.
With Black and Yellow.
Right. Exactly, because they were. He was his mentor to a certain degree, but he never really reached that pinnacle. Even though, in my opinion, he made like hot.
Oh, he made the better music, in my
Yes.
opinion, and that's probably why he didn't pop like that, because he didn't choose to go for that mainstream black and yellow.
Well, he talked about it on Faces.
Yeah.
You listen to Diablo. He talks about it. He was like, you know, these motherfuckers can't be trusted. Like, I don't fuck with those people. And so, in my opinion, he kind of cornered himself to a certain degree to get away from that, because that wasn't his goal. He was very grassroots.
Yeah.
You know, Nike's on my feet. Like, great. Like, from the jump, he was very grassroots. And it's funny. One of my homies from Illinois, shout out to you, Mishka, if you ever see this, he was like, yo, your Love Above Soul Glow album sounds like Mac Miller. Like, it reminds me of that vibe. And I was just like, what? But then I listened to it again from a not creator standpoint, but just a consumer standpoint. And I was like, oh, I get it. I understand what you're saying. But
That's a cool accolade. Very cool.
oh no, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was like the thing. I don't know about you, bro, but like when I share music with people, I really want them to give me real feedback.
Oh yeah, I want real feedback.
I don't want fire emojis. I don't want that was hard. Like, what song stuck out to you?
Yeah.
What instrumental did you like the most? Where did you see yourself when you heard this? You know what I mean? Like, that's real feedback for me personally.
That's what I want. I want you to tell me what sounds wrong
Yeah.
or what sounds good.
Right. Right. Have you I'm sorry, we're gonna take a pivot. Have you heard of this? It's all good. I think that motherfucker is a negative omen, and I'm not gonna pay it no more mind. Have you heard of this trend on TikTok called "We Listen and We Don't Judge"?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about it. I've never seen any of it, but I know of it.
You've heard of it,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So my girl tried to get me to do this. We listen, we don't judge.
Okay.
And it's like, I told her we could do it, but we're not recording it
Yeah. Why would you record that?
because she wants to put it on TikTok. And
No.
she's a sheep. but I'm saying all this to say, like, there's certain topics or certain shit that we do, and it's like, all right, we gotta listen and we can't judge, right? And that shit bugged me out because I'm like, yo, I'm gonna judge.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, some things need to be kept secret or to yourself.
Yeah, I'm not putting it on the internet for China and the rest of the world to see and monetize off of.
No.
Oh my God. I don't even know why I brought that up.
Like you said in the last pod, though, like not everything's meant for the internet, guys.
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I told my girl this. I was like, yo, I would never put certain shit up. Like, she'll show me dances to this day, bro. And I'm like, I'm never doing that. Never. Like, I'm a clone if I do that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not happening.
I look at it too, like, I think because we're on the back end of a lot of things, right? So like we look at the monetization, the clicks, all these different things. And me personally, I don't know how you feel about this, but I never want to just subject my personal life or the people in my personal life for monetization.
Yeah,
Clicks.
no, I feel that.
Like, my girl, she posted this thing where it was like 6 pictures of your couple or whatever, right? And I reposted it on my story. That post got like over 100 views. I never get that, ever. Like,
Was it
it was just a collage of us.
But did it have that?
That's the tag thing.
Yeah.
That you click and you say add yours.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's because when you add that to it, it throws it out into the public. And
yes.
so more people can see it other than just who you follow you.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like a whole pool of people that did the same thing. But,
Yeah. Right.
But I looked at the amount of viewers and shit, and it was weird because it was like everybody I knew. There was only like 4 other people I didn't know. So it's like, how the fuck did this reach the timeline more than anything else that I post? Like,
That's weird.
It was weird, and that's when I realized I'm like, man, Instagram kind of promotes and pushes whatever it wants to push.
Pushes trends, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, let's bring it back in. When it comes to music and promotion, how do you feel about that? Like promoting your own stuff.
Oh, I mean, you have to.
I mean, you have to, but genuinely, like, is it like
It's a burden.
Okay.
It's a burden, dude, because like you said earlier, it's like you get done with making the song and you're just like, fuck, I'm done.
Right.
You don't want to do all that other shit of like touring the song, playing the song, promoting the song, making the stories, making the reels, making all the shit. Like, that's not the fun part. The fun part is making the art.
In the moment, yeah.
Yeah. And like you almost get like, I don't know about you, but like when you, oh God. When you get to the end of a song and like you get to that feeling and you know it's done, you kind of get bummed. Because like the artwork is done and now you got to go back to fucking start all over. Fuck, I got to find that again. I got to get back into the space all over again. It's over. And you're kind of bummed about it. That's how I get. And then I start to think about, damn, now I got to make a reel. Now I got to do album artwork, blah, 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 you know.
Do you ever get the visual for a song when you're writing it or performing it? Like, I could see this in this area or in this place.
Yeah, but I'm struggling with these instrumental tracks. I'm not catching it like I am like with like in a Connor Gibbons set. You know, he's got lyrics and shit, and so you can kind of put yourself in that song, you know, and like
lyrics definitely help the mood.
Yeah, and so I'm struggling with these instrumentals. Like,
I would love to help you shoot promo. By the way,
dude, I want you to do whatever you want.
I would genuinely help. There's already songs you've made that, whether it comes out to the public or not, I've already seen visuals for. It doesn't even have to have you in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm sure you're like me. Even though we do this podcast and it's visually broadcasted, we're both reclusive people. Like, even when I remember seeing you perform live, and this was back when y'all were in Fort Worth at that random venue, and Connor and them was when y'all were all performing, and you're not like, not to say camera, how can I put this? You're not a person that tries to be in front of the camera.
Yeah, nah.
You kind of play the back end, you know what I'm saying? And that's cool to me, personally. That's some rock star shit, especially with how talented you are. But I've always thought about it in terms of like, I'm sure Nick wouldn't want to be the main character for his song and to promote for it.
Yeah, no, dude, you nailed it. Yeah, like I'm not, yeah, no, you nailed it. That's exactly how I feel. It's just, I think that's why it took me so long to do it. Because like, I don't like to be the face of my own music, you know, like that's why I've always been in bands. Because I can kind of just play my role and not really be the face and let the singer be the face, you know?
Yeah.
Just kind of lay back in the cut. Yeah, so I'm struggling with that, is like really putting myself out there. And like recently I started following like a lot of solo guitar players and just kind of seeing how they do it, how they market. And you just really got to put yourself out there as an artist and say, I am this and this is what I do. And that's just kind of something I struggle with, I guess, because I don't really know how to do that, because I haven't had to.
Yeah.
With a band, it's easy, because I'm just like, oh, here's the band, here's our picture, blah, 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 you know.
That's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do. Here's us live.
Yeah.
With me, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like it feels like conceited in a way.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because you're like thumbing through all these pictures, trying to find the best picture of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like like when I had to pick my iTunes picture for my Apple profile or whatever on iTunes, that took me so long. Because I was just like, man, I don't know. These are all, I've got a million pictures of myself from this podcast and shit, but like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm struggling with that.
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing because I'm thinking about it. Like, bro, you really have to be full of yourself to do this shit on your own.
Right? Yeah.
Like,
you have to believe it. You have to wholeheartedly believe it.
Like, for instance, just to hit a lick.
Oh, I think I got him. Maybe not.
Just to hit a lick. I remember it vividly how I started making this.
I like how you abbreviated it too to JThal or JThal, whatever.
Yeah, JTHAL. Because it was too fucking long of a title.
No, but it looks cool like that. I like how you abbreviated it.
It looks like a project.
Yeah.
But so initially it was just the beat. I started it on a random day. I was off of work, and I was like, damn, I love this part. Mind you, I sampled Bad Bad Not Good. This is the album, or a band from Canada, I believe, but they're big. They did the song Running Away is Easy.
Oh, yeah. The Adult Swim song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made that.
Yeah, I remember that.
So that's the band that I sampled from that. And I was just listening to them one day randomly, and then at the end of the song, there's like 10 seconds of just fucking beautiful.
I love that. I love that when they do that in the last 10 seconds.
That's why I like, to be honest with you, metal bands.
I was just about to say, dude.
Y'all motherfuckers, the intro.
Yep.
So
I'm telling you, dude.
So calm. And it's like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And then it's, I'm like, what? Like, y'all motherfuckers be having some shit. Like, and people be sleeping on metal bands.
Let me show you one of the songs that I recorded like 10 years ago, and it's just like that.
Yeah.
It starts out real nice and pretty, and then gets heavy as fuck, and then ends with like some jazz chords.
I love that.
It's awesome. And I got that shit from listening to songs like that, where they like
Really?
The last 10 seconds is just like a completely different jam, and it's just like
Some more stripped down.
Yeah, some kind of variation of the song, and like I love that shit. And Turnstile's real big about that shit.
Love Turnstile.
They have a couple songs where they at the last 10-15 seconds it's just like this like piano thing. Like it's dope.
Even the first couple like notes that they play, like I remember when I listened to Holiday. And I remember when I listened to Alien Love Call, I want to say it's called. I love Turnstile though. They're
great.
But God, I had a brain fart. Anyways, imagine a song just starting out, you're just chopping up the instrumental because you heard that part in the song, you save it in your brain, and you're like, all right, I can go back and do this. Did that, looped it, did all the little tricks, right? And then I was like, damn, if I was a rapper, I would rap to this shit, right? But when say you like, or for instance, like you're a guitarist, right? You have guitarist brain, and then you have podcaster, vocalist, broadcaster brain, right? Those are two different brains. When you're just playing and riffing, it's just one thing.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about
nothing else.
Any other facet of that song. I'm just thinking about the guitar.
Exactly.
And where it fits within the song. Yeah.
So it's the same thing for me. Like I was just thinking about the production. Like, okay, I want to make the drums sound louder. I want to make this part sound louder. Oh, the sample had a cymbal crash. So it's like, shh. Those have high range in terms of their like hertz. Like the crash cymbal is super high range. So it's always peaking every time the loop starts over. So I'm like, fuck. Okay, how am I going to mix this down to where every time it loops, it doesn't go into the red? Oh, shit. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a fader on it, put the fader on the front. That way, when it hits, it's not abrupt. It's like a and don't even pay attention to it, bro.
It's bugging me.
I know, me too, but it's all good. I had to realize I can't acknowledge its presence. But yeah, man, like so it had a cymbal crash that was super loud and abrupt, and it was going into red, and so I had to, and then I it's crazy, like I make beats now and I'll screen record my process for the process videos. So in my mind I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make another process video. Let me just do this from start to finish. And I was like, ooh, this would be a good part of the teaching lesson in terms of finding a sample that is so loud that you got to turn it down, but then you still got to give that effect.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
And so I just started screen recording it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna put a little fader on the front, mix down the high frequencies so that they're not as high, not as abrupt, and then boom, it came out. But that was all it was. I didn't plan on writing to it at all. It was just literally like one of those moments where I'm just being a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
And then I started listening to the beat, bro, and it was just like, oh, you need to write to this shit. You haven't wrote in a long time. Like, go ahead and what would a rapper say? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I had to get out of producer head and get into rapper head, and then that was the most fun I've had in a long time. And then I recorded it in my car.
That's man.
That's
See,
it.
I struggle with that. Like, trying to write drums. Like that's why I struggle with drums so much. Is because like I can't like just think of like what would a drummer do here? Because I don't play the fucking drums. I don't know. You know, I can kind of freestyle what a vocalist would do. Kind of have an idea of where they would be. You know, like where they would fit in. But like drums is just like the heart of the song, and like it's just so hard for me to like. I don't know.
No, I understand.
I'm
because
bad at drums.
Well, I mean, you don't play drums, but then on top of that, you're putting organs to a body that doesn't have a backbone, and then you have to put the backbone into it.
Yeah. It's like backwards. Yeah, it's a backwards thing for me. That's why a lot of the time I'll just find a YouTube fucking drum beat and free YouTube drum beat, you know, and everyone in the comments like, can I use this?
But you know drummers though.
Yeah, but do you know how hard it is to record drums?
I would. It's a headache, I'm sure, because you got to put a compressor and a limiter.
Well, not only that, you got a mic on each piece of that.
The equipment.
And so you have to have a room. You have to have a drum room just to record drums in, or they're just gonna sound like damp and shit, you know.
You know who you got to hit up, right?
Who's that?
Bart,
yeah, that's true.
Bart, I guarantee you, it like on that level, he would probably be a super assistant.
Yeah,
you know
you're probably right.
Soundwave?
Yeah, Soundwave.
Shout out to you, Bart. I still love that episode to this day.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah,
to this day.
Yeah, I'd love to have another guest like him on.
Yeah, because he's dealt with that. You know what I'm saying? So I think I have a hard time outsourcing to like other creatives and shit for what
me too.
I need.
Yeah.
I think the only people like I'm comfortable with is videographers, but like when it comes to music, I'm super like
me too.
Not anti collaborative, but I just don't know who I would fuck with on that level and who fucks with me on that level to like take me seriously. So I've always kind of been hard with
Dude, I get that. That's how I feel about going to Dustin. Because like I've got these like, what are the equivalents of like demos basically, but they're finished songs, like they're done, and but I know that they can be polished up, but I still feel like you know, Dustin works with like Tay Money and fucking like like he ain't gonna want to do this little rock album with me, but I'm sure he would. I'm sure he would.
Bro, Dustin and Connor just released a Christmas song.
I know, it's amazing, but I guess it's just that imposter syndrome. Like
I was going to say, y'all have a working relationship.
I know.
He was on the pod.
I know. We all overthink shit, right?
Bro, I mean, that happens with me and Petey. Like, and Pete, like Petey.
You've got a Grammy-nominated, Grammy-winning fucking producer in your back pocket.
Yeah, at all times. Like, we were just talking the other day, and I was like, bro, I could hear this. Like, me and him have this funny relationship where it's like, I'll send him samples and I'll send him chops and send him the emails and shit. And then I'll be like, bro, like, do whatever you want with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then there are certain times when we collaborate where it's just like, all right, I need to get you on a video call so we can really break it down, like how we're going to do this. Yeah. Because the song that we did together, Butterfly Doors, I made that beat and then he remade it 20 times better.
And that's what I kind of think is going to happen when I go to Dustin. Like, I've got these demos, and I know he's going to be like, oh, dude, you need to take this and put it here and do that. Like, I just know that's going to happen.
He's going to help with the sequencing.
The sequencing of it all, because I've just got jams right now. And that's literally what they are. It's just me just putting headphones on, listening to a track, and just going.
Right.
And most of them are one takes. They're just all the way through. So I need help kind of like...
Structure.
I need to structure it all. And, like, I know that that's what he does.
Yeah. No, he's very good with that. Like, I gave him the Soul Glow side B which is it's titled side A, but it's really side B. And he gave me a breakdown to every song. And right then and there, I was like, oh yeah, you even if you don't know me, you understand music in terms of like how to break it down and seeing like, all right, these are the rough patches.
Yeah.
Let's work on this.
That's the thing too, is like I'll get that like tone deaf to my own playing, and you just kind of think everything sounds decent.
Imagine hearing your own voice.
Yeah.
And thinking your voice sounds good. And then you listen to it 2 years later and it's like, I sounded ass.
Yeah. Yeah. I do that a lot with some of my recordings. I'm like, man, this sounds good right now. And I'll come back and listen to it. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You're so out of time here. Like, you should have slowed down a little bit there.
Yes. Yeah, man. No, that's why they tell certain artists, especially rappers and vocalists, we shouldn't be our own engineers.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
Because we will literally focus on all the things we like and not the things that aren't good.
Yeah. And also, I think you'll miss certain things that maybe you weren't looking for, but someone else heard it and they're like, hey, whoa. You just glance past that. Go back to that. What was that? You know?
Yeah. My boy Teddy, he told me just to hit a lick, there was a part of the hook that was off. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I just did this. What do you mean it's off? And I listened to it and I was like, oh, the timing is a little off, but I did that on purpose. Like, I treated like I trained my own brain to be like, nah, it's on. Like, it was meant to be off a little bit. But in reality, from the consumer standpoint, it's like, yeah, nah, bro. Like,
and that's the thing that, like,
nudge it over just a little bit.
People will notice that shit and you might not hear it, you know, because you just get numb to it.
How do you feel about critiques when it comes to your own music? Like, in terms of, like, how do you handle critiques?
Now I welcome it. I want it because it's only going to help me make a better product.
Okay.
I think back.
So you don't think like, all right, say if somebody said, yo, these drums sound like something from a call hotline, like hold music. Like you wouldn't.
That shit don't offend me.
Good.
No, that shit don't offend me.
Good.
I think, man, growing up in a metal band as my first like musical experience, you get numb to that shit because everyone's just talking shit about you constantly.
Really?
Oh yeah, like stupid ass little metal band. Like what are you up there screaming at people? Fucking up there, fucking. You know, you look like an idiot. Like it's a ridiculous fucking thing. Like it's ridiculous. So people make fun of you and shit. And so you get this fucking hard exterior where you're just like, fuck the world, man. You don't faze me. I don't care about your opinion, dude. Cool. We had a song that started out going, suck a dick, bitch, suck a dick, bitch, suck a dick, bitch. So, dude, we got all kinds of fucking... Dude, I need to show you, like, my old band. Like, it's fucking wild. So I've got, like, just concrete skin when it comes to that shit, man.
That's a clip right there. Holy shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I welcome it. I want people to like say, hey, you know, this part right here sounds a little weird, or I really liked when you did this.
Yeah,
that shit's great.
Yeah, no, I welcome it, but I know people aren't necessarily like comfortable with giving opinions or like takes on certain music, so they'll stick to like the fire emojis, and it was hard, right? Yeah. But like for instance, I was talking to my older brother. Last week, and I was, just phone call. We were just talking about regular shit, and I was like, yo, like, you heard the new song, right? Like, what do you think about it? He was like, I told you in text. Fire. It's hard. And I was like, yeah, but like, he's a writer, draws, he's an artistic person, he's very smart. So I was like, yeah, but like, what did you think about it? Like,
what's your artist opinion?
Yes. I was like, bro, like I recorded, I mixed, I mastered, I made the beat, everything. And that was really hard to do because when you're meshing a beat with a vocal, it's like two different forces competing with each other to basically be harmonious. And that's not easy when you're doing it your own because you're hearing everything you like, not everything that actually sounds good or it sounds bad. And so he was like, yeah, bro, people don't really understand how tedious it is to mix your own voice, mix a beat, and then everything you made, and then putting it all together. And he was like, he started breaking it down. He was like, yeah, I would make this a little bit louder, this a little bit lower, whatever.
And that's what you want. Yeah.
Yes, like I need real feedback. And this is to the people out there that are watching this. If an artist sends you their song and they're your friend or you genuinely care about them, tell them what sucks. Don't tell them you like it. Don't tell them it's hard. Tell them what sucks, because the only way that we can get better as people, creators, whatever, is if we get the real opinion from the people we care about.
Yeah.
We don't genuinely care about random consumers that we don't care about them. The people, if I send Nick a song and Nick says, yo, this is hard, but do this, that, and the third, that's because I fuck with him and he fucks with me. If I send a random Joe Schmo a song and they say fire emoji, it means they don't give a fuck about me or that song. They just probably responded.
Probably didn't even listen to it.
Didn't even listen to it. There were certain people that heard the demo before the shit was released and was like, yo, I fuck with the song. And I'm like, you heard the full version? Nah. But the demo was hard, so I know the shit was hard. I'm like, nigga, the demo could sound 10 times better than the fucking actual pressed version of it. Give me the feedback from the real shit.
Right.
And I genuinely think, yeah, people have a hard time being honest and just being real, you know? Like, and then that's why I like talking to an audience that doesn't know me. Like, genuinely talking to audience that have no idea who I am. They just hear the content or they see it and they're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You get that.
You know? But it's good that you're open for feedback, and it's good that you're open and you have tough skin, because there are certain times, like, for instance, we listen and we don't judge. Fucking hate that shit. But it's current. So there was this thing I had about the single you dropped, right? And I was like, damn, I wish I could tell him this, but I don't know how to tell him this because I don't want to fuck up like our friendship.
You wouldn't.
Or I know, but that's just my brain, bro. So I was just like, damn, like I really wish he chose different album artwork, because there's certain people that will see that album artwork and be like,
I know that.
I'm not into this, or without even hearing the song. And it sucks, but those are like the small-minded people, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I was like, damn, like I want to tell him, like, bro, like, but I can't tell you how to make your art. Like, you can't tell me how to write lyrics. I can't tell you how to play
I
guitar,
get that. No,
right? But at the same
you can
time,
still,
from a marketing standpoint, I want to be like, yo, Nick, like, bro, how about let's be a little bit more vague with the artwork, and then let the music speak more than the art. Because if the art is louder than the music, if the trailer is much more louder than the movie, then the trailer is going to get way more feedback than the movie, right? Like Gladiator just came out. The trailer, I barely saw the trailer like a couple times, but the movie is Gladiator. That's a high pinnacle shit. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I wanted to say this to you and like be like, yo, and it's hard because it's like you're an artist, I'm an artist, and I don't want to offend you.
And you won't.
But still, in my mind,
no, I get it.
I'm like,
I get it.
Okay, hey, bro, how about? Have you thought about this, or have you thought about that, or like?
And that's the thing, no.
And granted, because you're thinking on your feet,
like we were just talking about, I'm struggling so much with artwork and just trying to fucking think this other creative brain. I'm not thinking about music anymore. That's the easy part. Now it's this other thing. So yeah, no,
the marketing aspect.
Want that. I want that feedback. And you did ask me about it. You said, "What's up with this album artwork?"
Yeah. And then you told me like, yo, I just took the picture.
I didn't know. I didn't have there's no concept. There's no thought, and that's exactly what it was. And so yeah, we need that feedback.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give it to you, but I just didn't know how.
Yeah. Well,
like, I didn't know.
Now you know. Like just.
Yeah. No. You a real deal. Yeah. Real deal, Holyfield. But I just wish people would be more transparent about shit, whether it's good or bad. Like, bro, because at the end of the day, you're only gonna get better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
All you're doing is pushing them for greatness,
Right.
Getting that best out of them.
Right. And so one note of advice that I would give you, because I had to get it early, like when I started creating the whole Nimbus brand, rather than thinking on your feet, listen to the sound that you're creating. And if you don't know how to like market it, just picture the environment that you would hear it in and then go from there.
That's a good way to look at it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like your sound doesn't sound nowhere near like the artwork.
Mm-hmm. No, not at all. Yeah. But then the duality of that is I kind of like that too, though.
Mm-hmm.
I like it's not what you're expecting.
Right.
You know, but I think it holds more weight of what environment does this sound like visually.
Mm-hmm.
I like that better.
So it's just something to think about.
No, absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I have a hard time. Like, bro, the song I just dropped, that was a picture from my phone.
I knew it was. Yeah.
And it was a kimono I just bought.
I think you sent me that picture actually when you were showing me that you got it.
Yeah. That was literally like I looked in my phone and I was like, okay, well.
And that's what I did too. I did the same thing. I went through there and I was like, oh, there's a cloud picture. That's kind of cool. Oh, that was at Spirit Halloween store the other day. That's kind of cool. Flip this around. Right. You know?
Right.
That's how we do it. You know?
Yeah.
Like we just make shit and. Oh God! I remember when I was first in the metal band, we took like our band pictures, and I was sitting there editing it on my phone one day at like the skate park, and this dude walked up to me. And he's like, "Yo, that's a dope picture. How'd y'all make that on like Photoshop or something?" I was like, "No, dude, right here on my phone. I just did it on my phone right here." And dude, that was so long ago. But that was like the first days of like doing shit on your phone.
Okay. Early
days, probably like 2011 or some shit.
Damn.
2010.
8 megapixel.
Yeah. Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, man. But no, I'm genuinely excited to hear your project, hear the other things that you come up with, bro, because it's like, how can I put it? Okay. Take it off of you. You ever meet a person and you're like, damn, this motherfucker could be that, do that, whether it be a person you collaborate with or a person you might want to make love to.
I mean, dude, I feel that way about a lot of people. I mean, you see the potential in them, and you're like, damn, dude, given the right opportunities, you could fucking. That's how I feel about you too.
You could go. You could go for real.
That's how I feel about you.
And so I'm like, okay, cool. Like he can go. Like, let's package this correctly. From the sound to the mixing to the whole picture.
No, you're 100% right.
And don't ever, and this is to every creative out there, don't ever be afraid to ask for help in the areas you're not the strongest in.
And that's my thing is like that, going back to the hyper independency. I think I can do it all on my own, and I can do it all on my own, but it's not the best.
Exactly.
It's not the best. It's gonna be what I can do at that moment. So I do, and that's why I'm starting to think about going to Dustin, reaching out to you. I need help mixing.
Right,
like
right.
All that shit, dude. It's just, I would like to do that. I would like to fucking like use the tools I have while I got them. You know?
You ain't the only sharpshooter in the room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think we should both do that, honestly. It's like
1,000%. I think we've been saying that for the fucking longest, and we kind of dibble-dabble in it a little bit.
Now we're like in it.
Now we're in it, yeah. So it's just like, all right, cool. But, yeah, man.
I've genuinely had the thoughts of, like, me and you need to make a project.
Oh, dude.
Like, just a me and you thing, like a Nick and Nimbus thing. Like,
for
just a project me and you.
I think that would be hard.
I'd love to do it.
Even if it's just an EP.
Yeah, like 3
We already got a couple joints, like miles away.
Yeah.
I could easily re-record that with you. Easily.
So I'm talking about stuff like that. You got a couple stuff laid back in the tug that you could resurface with me, and like I think we could polish it up. And
1,000%.
Yeah.
There's actually a couple joints on the album after this album. Cause I'm already like a couple albums deep now.
That's what I'm saying. It never ends.
That I'm just like, oh damn, I can hear Nick on this.
Yeah.
But it's 3 albums later, right? But I'm always for it, bro.
Man, I was thinking about this because it's been a year now that I've been in Connor's band.
It's already been a year?
Little over, actually.
Oh, wow. That's fast.
And so I was thinking about it, and I was like, fuck, what did I just say? I'm such a space cadet, dude.
We were talking about...
It's been a year in the band.
Yes. And then just in terms of like working with other people and
I'm such a space cadet, guys. I'm sorry.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, it's like 9:15 right now.
Yeah, I just got off of a 12-hour shift. Nick also worked today as well. This is like the first time I've heard the house this quiet.
I know, man.
I even hear Luna. I'm like, dang, where the dog at?
Yeah, they're all at Kinsey's mom right now.
Nice.
God, I wish I remember what the fuck I was saying. I'm gonna rewatch this and be like, you fucking idiot.
Maybe some things aren't meant to be recorded.
Right? Yeah.
You know? Like there's certain times where I'll have thoughts about you and I'm like, yo, pause. But I'll be like, yo, I could hear Nick on this part, or I could hear Nick doing this, or like I'll have an idea and I'll be like, damn, bro, you could easily just shred through this section right here and go crazy, and vice versa. Like, I'm sure you've probably been like, yo, Nim, I could hear Nim on this.
Absolutely.
Or do that in the third. And I want to do that more. Like, all right, but just to close up the pod, because I'm sure we're hitting that time limit. What's one thing, I know it's cliche, 2025 is almost here. Mm-hmm. One thing that you will accomplish, not want to, not I want to do this. What's one thing that you're going to accomplish in 2025 that'll make you say, I'm that motherfucker right
Dude,
here?
I'm glad you asked me, because this will kind of put some fuel behind this fire. But it's been in the back of my head since I started this solo project. I gotta perform it. Ooh. I have to.
Speaking about performances, why the fuck didn't you perform at old boy's spot when he had the pop up?
I didn't have a spot. It was just me going there jamming, hanging out.
He had you on the bill.
Yeah, I was just there as a creative, just hanging out with some other people.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Okay. It's all good. I love Hayden.
No, he's cool people.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I enjoyed my time. It was
cool. Just curious.
Yeah.
I was literally trying to. I was going to go to that show and out like with you.
Yeah.
On just some kicking it.
But that's exactly what I have in mind when I was saying I need to perform it.
Yeah.
Because people like Hayden who are constantly putting on shows, I can get a spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter. I even tried to get. He's putting on a show on the 21st, and I tried to get Connor on the bill, but Connor's out of town, so we couldn't do it.
I think he hit me up about that show.
Did he?
Because he wanted to get me tickets to get in there.
Yeah.
Just to check it out.
Yeah, he's just trying to get a bunch of people in there.
Yeah.
Which is great, and that's the type of people like. So like I got a producer, Dustin. I got you for vocals and mixing and all of it, just creative design, right?
Yeah.
Hayden for fucking show running and all this. So it's like everything is there. Like the door is there. You just have to do it, Nick. And as I'm recording all this shit, I'm sitting there thinking like, fuck, dude, you gotta remember how to play all this, and I don't.
Ooh.
If I can show you any of those 8 tracks right now, I don't know how to play any of them. I can probably get a few chords out of them and remember it over time, but like right now, hell no.
That's hard.
Yeah. Like you can go back and listen to the lyrics and go, oh, this is what I wrote, this is what I said, like said it like this.
But sometimes I change the lyrics though.
Yeah.
Like there's a song I literally just made and I changed the lyrics on like the second verse 3 or 4 times. And I went to re-record and I didn't remember the lyrics. And I was like, I had to look at the lyrics physically because I like to memorize it.
Let me show you something. So now that you say you write it down physically.
Yeah.
With notes. This is what a song looks like. And I've written down. That song right there is a Connor Gibbons song. It's called Forever.
Is one song?
That's one song. That's Forever, and it's broken down in my chord shapes and how in my head how I think about it. So it goes.
Structure.
It's the structure.
Yeah, nice. And
the triangle shape is a triangle shape I make with my fingers when I on the. Yeah, that's how I visualize all this shit, and I have to write it down sometimes like that.
This is so cool.
Yeah, I'll put a little thing up on the screen so y'all can see it too, but.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how I visualize songs. when I can't remember them and I need to remember the structure, I'll write it down like that.
That's a cool way of taking notes, though.
Yeah. And it's pretty. I mean, it's just riff, verse, chorus, riff, verse, chorus. But then I wrote down like 12, 3, and that's where my finger.
I was looking at the numbers. I was like, ooh, those numbers mean something for sure.
And then end on 12. I know that's that last chord right down there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that's the hardest part. Is I want to perform it. That's to answer your question. I want to perform at least some part of this solo album that I'm doing, and I gotta remember it. I gotta remember how to play it all, and a lot of it, how I write is improv. That's how I write. Right. Everything is improv. Everything is just flow state. So
do you ever repeat the songs you've already recorded? Like, say for instance, like 2 or 3 days later after you've recorded something.
Such a bitch to go back and try and remember what I played.
Really?
Yeah. 90% of the time, I just stay with that first take because I can't remember what the fuck it was. I'll get close. I'll get really close to it.
That's interesting.
And that's why music is really situational too, because when you're in that moment and you're in that flow,
the flow state.
Yeah, it's hard to recreate it.
1,000%. Yeah. I do that with writing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's very hard for me to capture the vibe that I wanted to present when I initially had the idea on paper and then redo it later on. Like a buddy of mine, shout out to DTXZ, Xavier, he was like, yo, why do you record your demos and then record them a year later?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not capturing the same energy that you had during the demo. And I was like, well, I want to make sure it's polished. He was like, yeah, but the demo sometimes sounds better than the fucking final product that you did in the studio. And I was like, yeah, but that's just a perfectionist in me. But in my mind, that was a moment where I was like, you know what? Fuck that. Like, let me just stick with the demo sometimes if I really feel it, because then that means it's genuinely coming from my heart and soul, and do that. But I never thought about it from an instrumentalist standpoint in terms of like, okay, I need to remember how I position myself to play these notes and play these chords and then do that perfectly, like for a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a freestyle.
Yeah.
Like, that is hard. I can't even imagine. Like, writers have it easy. I'll be real with you. Writers, like people that write lyrics and shit, we have it easy in comparison to instrumentalists that like play instruments.
Well, this is a very...
Because it's flow and feeling.
It's a hybrid way. Not everyone does it like this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people will write and... Let me write down what I just wrote. Write down it. You know, a lot of people do that shit. I can't write like that. I have to be in that flow state. I have to be in there. And I've just found that's the best way to find my sound.
So when you say, for instance, when you record, right, and you listen back to it, and then you add a layer, or you might take out a layer or something of that nature, how often do you play with yourself? Pause. But like in terms of like, so like for instance, for me, if I just did a verse last night, and I'll listen to it the next day and I'll rap along with that verse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I say
so
play with yourself.
Yeah. So
but it's just really like just going on with what you just created. And, you know what I mean?
I'll have to do it. You know, and the thing is like, I think my short-term memory with the guitar is probably like, I probably got like a 30-minute window.
Okay.
So within that 30 minutes, I can kind of remember what I played. But if it's like a solo and I'm just like, I'm not remembering any of that.
Right.
That's just riffing. That's literally why they call it riffing, right?
Yeah.
But I think the basic guts of the song, like the meat and potatoes of the song. Pause.
Getting in them guts.
I remember that part while I'm in it. Like the chord shapes and the basic structure of like, okay, I'm going here, going here, going here. I remember all that shit. But it's all the little minor shit that I don't remember when I come back to it. And I'm like, damn, what were you playing there? Where did you have a capo on your guitar? What tuning was this? What the fuck? That's another bitch. What tuning were you in that day? Were you in Dadgad? Were you in standard? Were you in drop C? Were you in drop D?
This is like BPM for making beats.
Yeah.
Yo, I recorded this on 145 BPM. Why am I rapping at 120?
Or another one I've recently got into is, which guitar did you use? Oh, because this doesn't sound the same.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, but I've kind of gotten I've kind of gotten into this thing. I'm like, should I just start Twitch streaming every every like session I do, just so I can have it there, just to have the video.
And then you can also go back and
I can go back and reference it, and it's not really saved to my computer. It's just saved to Twitch hard drives. You know what I'm saying?
Smart.
I've been thinking about it, and I can kind of build the Twitch up a little bit. But then everyone's gonna see my process, and it's a muddy process of like.
So
you know what I'm saying? Like do shit. Fuck. Start over. Blah, blah, blah,
that might be gold to somebody.
It might be.
Think about if you could see Jimi Hendrix riffing in the garage of his house.
That's why I turned it on before you got here, because I was just in here. That's what I was doing. I was just playing around, watching Goodfellas, and I thought about why not.
Bro, you ever have a certain artist that you loved and you wish you could see their hard drive or see like their process and see how they built certain songs that you grew to love and then it changed the world? Like there's certain artists, I'm sure every artist has those sessions where they're just like, I wish I recorded that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But fuck it. And then the idea comes later. That's why I personally enjoy the process videos, is because it's like the series is really just about how I create and what I do. And the hardest part is doing a voiceover of what I'd done a month or weeks ago.
I think I'm going to start doing that more.
You should.
Because I literally sit right there when I do it. I'm in front of the camera. All I have to do is click live.
And who knows, that might be a YouTube in the future, 10, 20 years from now, of Nick Martin doing riffs.
I'm just going to start doing it.
You get what I'm saying? Like, why not, bro? Like, and it's going to help you, too, on top of that, because then you can go back.
And I've got a video data,
Yeah. Like for instance, with me, anytime I write, like, full-blown lyrics and it's a whole song, I'll email it to myself.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'll literally copy and paste all the lyrics, put it into my email, Gmail account, send it to myself.
That's a good idea. I like that.
I send it to myself and I say, this is the lyrics for this song. That's it. And then I might have the instrumental attached to it, but it's really just a point of reference for my brain to be like, okay. Even if I don't know how I sounded, at least I know how the lyrics are broken up.
That's a good idea.
Do that shit, man. Do that shit. There's a lot of things. I guess to answer my own question that I asked you, for 2025...
Yeah, what are you doing?
So I'm obviously going to... Well, not obvious. I'm going to release an album that's going to be like a multi-sided album. So each side is going to be its own release. Side A, side B, side D, side C, whatever. But I also have like a short 3-song EP that I showed you last time we kicked it. And I want to make that a short film. So I have the whole concept for the film.
Yeah. Let's run it.
How it's going to be. Dude, like.
Okay, let's do this. Like, I'm not going to cut you off, but I really want to do this. Like, tell me all about that. But
yeah.
2025, let's put into action of like really fucking like putting some shit out, like best foot forward type shit. Making next move your best move, right?
1,000%.
That's what I'm gonna try and be on 2025. But tell me about the movie that you got.
Okay, we got to end on this.
Let's wrap it up.
I can't say everything.
Well, just tell me conceptually, like what you, like
post-apocalyptic world.
Okay.
I'm talking like beyond I Am Legend, like far post-apocalyptic world. Everybody's desensitized. We're in a generation where there's 1,000 artists and there's only like one doctor. But the artists are using their art to actually feed themselves.
Okay.
Like, and genuinely, like,
that's cool.
But the art is blood sport. So say for instance, like you got 1,000 rappers, right? But if their song, they only have one chance to perform a song in front of a crowd, and the crowd is like gladiator style in an arena, and the artist is in the middle.
Yeah, this is great.
If their song sucks, the crowd has the opportunity to kill that artist, and they use arrows and whatever the fuck they want to use.
Gladiator shit.
To kill that motherfucker. So it's either a thumbs up, or thumbs down. If it's a thumbs up from the artist, from the crowd, which
God, I can see all this.
Which is
great.
Yeah. So it's deep though. So naturally, everybody wants to make it, right? Be on. And we're in a world where water is like fucking gold. So it's that just like disparity like is at an all-time high. And now you have all these people that say they're artists and they're rappers or whatever, but then when they get in front of a crowd of the collective wants them to suck. Because the only way that the collective gets off is if something drastic happens. Yeah. All right, let's kill this motherfucker. He's out of here. He's disposable, right? Now, on the flip side of that, the people that run this organization or this event, they want the artist to suck because they can use their body parts and their organs to reproduce them and sell them off to the black market. So naturally, it's like, all right, cool.
This is some weird, like...
Sign them up.
This shit could happen.
Oh, no, for sure. That's why I didn't want to say too much. Yeah. But at the same time, I want...
Good, like, TV show, too.
I visually am going to make this movie happen.
Yeah.
And so, basically, it's called Chaotica, and it's centered around... Chaotica is the main event of just pure chaos, and violence is romanticized, so it's chaotica, like exotica, but chaos.
Yeah, I like it.
Exotic chaos. And that, the whole premise is like this person that is trying to obviously, you know, feed his family, feed himself, survive. He's always been the fucking underdog, and he's climbing out of the trenches like the Dark Knight, Batman, climbing out of this hole in order to just get a bag of rice and feed his family for a month. And in order to do that, he has to come up with one song that will save his life and potentially take him up to the next level. But on the flip side of that, he's battling a whole fucking system that's built against him. And that's where the whole like premise of it. So from
I like it, dude.
Beginning to end, it's fucking crazy.
Sounds like a comic book or some like TV series like on Netflix or some shit.
Bro,
I thought of a I don't know why Umbrella Academy came to mind.
Do you remember Umbrella Academy? That's a good show.
That was written by Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance.
Gerard Butler. Yeah. He did a movie a long time ago, kind of like Ready Player One aspect, where it was like he was a video game character, but they're all prisoners. And they're literally like the video game character is like running through a field, shooting people, but he's getting played by like a real person.
I think I saw that movie.
You had to have seen it. I think
I've seen that.
It was a long time ago. But literally like they used like prisoners in the future. They use prisoners and then the VR people are like...
I know I've seen this. What is that movie?
I can't remember the name, bro. If you know the name of the movie, put it in the comments.
Let us know.
But he literally like, he finds out that he's like being controlled by a whole nother person, and then he goes to find...
Yeah.
The person that's playing him, mind you, he's like a high-ranking character because the motherfucker's KD is like 4-0, like it's super high. Like, so the person that's paying him is like a gamer, like a streamer, right? Like the Kai Cenat Call of Duty.
Yeah.
But the fucking Call of Duty NPC is a real person. I wish I knew the name of this movie.
I don't want to go into like a whole nother fucking podcast here, but that whole multiverse shit with that quantum computer with Willow, the new Google thing. And we're gonna end it right here. But everyone, thanks for tuning in. Next episode, we're getting into all that quantum shit. I'm really interested in it. I think it's got some very interesting for the universe type of vibe behind it. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I think it's very interesting.
Yes. No, the quantum computer is really cool because just speaking on the multiverse aspect of things and how like there's different outcomes for different situations, and how it computes all the different outcomes is insane to me.
Mm-hmm. I'm still having trouble kind of wrapping my head around it, but we're going to dive all into it next time. Thanks for tuning in, guys. W, we're going to be us.
Peace.
Later.